Subscribe to Shiksha Online and click on the bell icon for more updates.
So welcome back to another concept of management, that is MBO. So by MBO we mean management by objectives. So let's have a quick look as to the contents of MBO. That is, we have the prerequisites of MBO, the nature of MBO, the advantages of management by objectives, disadvantages of MBO, and the reasons why MBO fails. So what is this term of management by objectives? Now, management by objectives is basically a concept of management whereby the superior as well as the subordinate, they sit together and identify the goals and objectives to be achieved by both the superior as well as the subordinate. So this is a concept that was introduced by the great management guru Peter F. Drucker in 1954 in his famous book, The Practice of Management. So the prerequisites of management by objectives is basically in defining the purpose. Now it's very important to have this concept of MBO because here it is where the superior as well as the subordinate, they come together and identify the targets to be achieved in an organization. Secondly, it's important that you get the support from the top management. Now, unless there is relevant support from the management, that is basically the top management, it becomes ineffective to actually work together in an organization where there is no support from the top management. Third, training. There has to be adequate training for MBO program to be implemented in an organization, because the employees need to know what exactly is the purpose and what does this MBO actually serve. So unless this purpose is clear in the minds of the employees, MBO cannot actually fulfill its purpose. Fourth, participation of the employees. Now, in order to get cooperation from the people, it's very important that all employees are encouraged to participate in the day-to-day activities of an organization. Now, only through participation does an employee become aware of what exactly the management by objectives is all about. And finally, feedback. Now, once this MBO is been implemented, it's very important that there has to be a continuous review and feedback taken from the employees. Now, the feedback may be in the form of suggestions or criticisms or any kind of improvement that can be made for any kind of an activity. Now, having identified the prerequisites of management by objectives, it is important to look into the nature of objectives. So, let's look into the nature of objectives. The objectives may be either quantitative or qualitative. Now, when I say quantitative, it means that it can be expressed in terms of numbers, and qualitative means that it cannot be expressed in terms of numbers. Now, let's say for example, the marketing team or the production, or let's say in terms of finance, all this can be expressed in terms of numbers, and therefore we say that it can be measured quantitatively. Let's say for example, in terms of qualitative, the morale of the employees, the responsibilities that have been entrusted to them, all this cannot be measured in terms of numbers, so they can be qualitatively measured. So therefore, we say that objectives may be either quantitative or qualitative. Second, the objectives form a hierarchy. Now, whenever the objectives are framed, it is very important to have a primary objective as well as a secondary objective. The primary objective serves as the basic and the most important objective of an organization, and the secondary objectives are those objectives which support the basic objective. Third, the short-term and long-term objectives. Short-term objectives are basically framed for a short period of time, whereas the long-term objectives are those plans or those objectives that are framed in order to achieve the long-term goals of an organization. Fourth, objectives may form a network. Now, every organization is divided into departments, and these departments are further subdivided. So, every department has their objectives, which are subdivided, further have their own objectives. So, many a times the departmental objectives also need to have a link with the main objectives of an organization, and therefore we say that the objectives may form a network. And finally, multiplicity of objectives. Now, every department in an organization has its own objectives. For example, the production department may have their objectives in terms of the production or maybe in terms of the raw materials. The finance department may have their own objectives in terms of achieving their costs. The HR department may have their objectives in terms of the kind of recruitment or the cost involved in paying the compensation or in terms of giving certain kinds of benefits. So, all these objectives can be interlinked, and that is why we say that the objectives are interlinked to each other. So, kind of having this management by objectives proves to be very beneficial to an organization. Now, in what way does MBO actually benefit an organization?